What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of the Future Endeavours podcast. I'm joined by my regular cohorts, Miles, Kelechi, and Keanu. How are we all doing, guys?
Yeah, all good, thanks.
We're
So,
alive, breathing.
So we're live, we're moving.
I like
Ready for
that.
Mania.
Season.
But guys, we're here to talk about one thing and one thing only. Everyone's pointed to the sign, but it's here. It's WrestleMania. We're gonna go preview and predict the entire event. And before we go into it, the whole card itself, I want to know your opinions. Are you excited for it, or do you feel like it's a bit too long? Miles, what do you think?
Definitely excited for WrestleMania. How can you not be? Especially with all the important work they put into some of their storylines this year. Definitely a stacked WrestleMania card. Definitely way too much. As soon as you have to move it on to 2 nights, there's an issue. But fair play to WWE. They've got some really good matchups. And I'm looking forward to seeing some of them, not all of them.
What about you, Kelechi? Are you a fan of the 2 nights, or did you like it when it was just the one night itself?
I think it felt more special when it was just one night. But in terms of building stars and getting more people seen, I think you kind of need the 2 nights now. But in terms of being excited for it, got to be because it's WrestleMania. But as Miles said, only some of the matches, which we'll get onto later, that I'm excited for.
What about you, Keanu? Say if you were a wrestler, are you main eventing night one or night two?
Oh, you have to do night two. You have to do night two. Night two is literally the last thing that people see of WrestleMania. So
He's basically asking how good is your promo game? That's what he's really.
no. Night two is realistically like what you. I mean, obviously everybody aspires to be the main event anyway, but I think like now that you've changed the bracket between it being just the main event as opposed to being the main event of the first night or the second night, it has to be second night. And I feel like I can share the consensus of everybody else here. It's Mania, so you can't not be excited. There's always going to be some amazing matches going on, but it's not all of the matches that we're excited for. Just there's a select few.
Let's tee up some of the matches that we might not be excited for. And the first one we're going to go with is the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. It used to be at WrestleMania, but I believe last year it was on SmackDown as well. Seems like it's going to be on SmackDown again. So, Miles, you were talking about it at the start, some of the matches you're not excited for. Is this one of the matches that you're not excited for?
I'm probably the wrong person to start with because, first of all, this is definitely not one of the matches I'm excited for. So much so that I kind of don't know who's in the match.
I was going to say, does anybody actually know who's in it?
I think
You said it.
I think it comes a bit more to, as opposed to like you always have your kind of your usual suspects of people who are in the battle royal, but I think it's more the question of like the bigger names that are probably in it. So I think the two names that I think mainly stuck out from when I saw the graphic was Bobby Lashley and LA Knight. I think those are the two names that I think really stuck out. It's like obviously we had the whole thing going on with Bobby that they were supposed to have a match with Bray, but we don't know what's happening with Bray right now. So it's kind of like, okay, what do we do with Bobby? And then LA Knight, he was heating himself up over the last couple of weeks. And it was like, yeah, no, how can you have a WrestleMania in LA without LA Knight? And then they stick him in the Battle Royale. So I think it's kind of like, I think the company has a lot of faith in LA Knight, to be fair. But I think to put him in the Battle Royale, I think is a bit unfortunate.
Yeah, it's a waste of LA Knight and Bobby Lashley, especially when LA Knight is literally one of the most over people in the company right now. Why would you waste him on, something that's not even in the show? So I'm hoping they manage to find a plan with him in WrestleMania, but yeah, all remains to be seen.
I think with LA Knight, he's probably got more of a chance of cutting a promo when it comes to WrestleMania, either night one and night two. And then I see him probably having one of the legends come out and do a little spot with him, a bit like how Austin would probably come out if he was scheduled to be there. I feel like LA Knight, type of guy to get that cachet where someone will come in as a legend or a Hall of Fame and do a little spot with him. With Bobby, because of what happened with Bray Wyatt, I feel like they just chucked him in there and they were like, look, potentially this could be that mini WrestleMania moment for you type of thing to win it. But I think it's not one of them things that people really care about too much. When I think Cesaro won it initially, when it came about, it looked like, okay, this could be something where it pushes Young, a bit like the King of the Ring, whereas now it's just fallen down. And if it's on SmackDown like it's meant to be, it's not one of them things that people are going to care about too much from you. Do you guys feel like similar thing where it's not going to be cared about by people.
Yeah, it was meant to be elevated. Well, it was meant to elevate stars that you don't really see. Like that's why Cesaro was one of the best people to win it, especially of how he won it as well when he lifted Big Show over the top. And yeah, that was meant to push him to be a top star. But I don't know. Ever since that moment, nothing's really happened with it, and it's just become another match. So I think people have seen through it, and they're not really excited for it anymore, like they were back in the day when it first got announced. But that's just me.
I think it's just it's never. I think even to be even perfectly honest, even when Cesaro won it, this match has never had any form of actual incentive to watch because the trophy doesn't mean anything. I feel obviously none of us are in any form of wrestling, like the wrestling world where we know wrestlers and we can speak to them and be like, oh, what do you guys think about the battle royal? Like, what's the feelings backstage? But with the Andre the Giant battle royal, but I'm sure if we was able to speak to any of them, I feel like if they were able to speak freely, none of them would say, oh, this is one of the biggest things that we need to be doing. If you want to make people care about it, give us an incentive to watch it. Like, okay, whoever wins, they get a title shot, like something like that. Like, it doesn't have to be like they get a contract assigned to win any title of their choosing. Done, easy. Like, you do something like that, I'm involved now. Now this thing matters. Now there's a storyline. But as it is right now, it doesn't mean anything.
Are you thinking same thing, Miles? Like, it doesn't really mean anything, but add that little incentive on, bit like Money in the Bank, and all of a sudden people start caring a bit.
Yeah, I mean, why not change that particular tournament to the winner of it gets a US title shot? You know, build up one of the smaller belts. Do you know what I mean? Not everything has to be about the WWE belt. We know that from when Brock Lesnar won the belt and took it to wherever he went to for months at a time. So yeah, I definitely think there's other ways to. I mean, otherwise, what am I watching those kind of matches for? Like, do I care who wins that? Am I supposed to care? And if so, why? So yeah, I agree.
So I guess what we'll do now is, I know Maz, you came up with this idea a bit as well, where we're going to do like a little prediction table with each other as well when it comes to every pay-per-view and see where we all rank and stuff. So let's kick off with this match itself. I know we touched on the fact that we don't really know who's going to be participating outside of Bobby Lashley and LA Knight and a few others. I think Sandow's there, Rick Boogs is in there. The guys that are always just lurking backstage and just on a segment on Raw or SmackDown. Well, I'll go to you, Miles, first. Who do you think wins this match?
There's only one guy for me, and it has to be LA Knight. Who else? Who else is there? I don't know what everyone else thinks, but that's my pick. Obviously, yeah, as you explained, what we're going to do is we're going to basically get everyone's predictions in, and then if you get them right, you get a point. If you don't, did you just get 0 points, or do you take a point away? I feel like you take a point away just to make it interesting.
Bro,
and then at the end of every, sorry,
what kind of chaos is that?
Miles, that's what Miles is. This is his little project, so he can work out the maths because that's not my strong suit.
I think that's the maths for now, and then we'll do like 2 points or something else. I haven't quite figured it out yet, but basically, you'll get a point for winning, for getting it right, and then a minus a point if you get it wrong. So I'm going to go with LA Knight. And then obviously at the end of this whole pay-per-view, we'll come back and review the answers and see who's at the top of the rankings and who's at the bottom. But just so everyone knows, we'll do this for every pay-per-view. Is that all right, guys?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sick. So yeah, my pick is LA Knight.
Abbas, who are you going for?
Okay, cool. Do you know what? Because we're playing for points and I can't go with my heart over my head type of thing, I've got to go Bobby Lashley. I feel like because his match with Bray was basically thrown to one side because of all the issues with Bray Wyatt, I feel like Keanu said, LA Knight seems to be the guy who, even in a loss, the company's still high on him so they can push him later on. Bobby Lashley is just kind of stuck. So I'm going to go with Bobby just because he's a big guy, Andre the Giant, just run with that little story and you can go from there.
For me, I want Bobby Lashley to win, but my heart is saying LA Knight. And I just want Bobby Lashley to win because if he is going to have that match with Bray later down the line, we don't want to ruin him. We want to keep bigging him up so that match feels special. So they've got to come up with a way where Bobby loses and he still saves face. Like, I don't want him to just get smushed out there, but yeah, we'll see. I think LA Knight's going to take it this time because strictly just because of how over he is right now.
Bobby Lashley's going to throw out like 10 people. I guarantee.
Yeah, I'm with you on it. I see it.
He's gonna throw out like 10 people because I feel like he personally himself is probably mad, as well as his character is just mad in general. So because of that, he's gonna dash out at least 10 people, and he's winning this thing.
You know what? Just quickly before we move on to the main card itself, I kind of get now why Brock passed up the opportunity to do anything with Bray. Because can you imagine if this was Brock Lesnar in this situation where it's WrestleMania, they don't have a program for him, and there's a few weeks left? That would be chaos because he's one of the biggest stars for the WWE right now, even if he's just on there sporadically as well.
I think because they respect Brock so much, they would find a way to include him in one of the storylines. But with Bobby Lashley, even though they've pushed him a lot in recent times now, I just don't feel like he's one of the biggest draws in the company yet. So, like, as big as Brock, what I'm saying. So, yeah, for him, it's just unfortunate, really.
And with that, right, moving on to the main card, and we're going to go with the opener first. And this is where I call the seal of approval, the stamp of approval, whatever you want to call it. John Cena versus Austin Theory for the United States title. And credit to WWE, if you want to put bums in seats right at the start and showcase your event being full up, you start it off with Cena. They've mentioned the traffic. They've hyped it up to the point where everyone's going to be in there 2 hours early and the doors are opening in 90 minutes time type of thing. So I'm going to go with you, Keanu, because I see you nodding your head and stuff. Is this the perfect move to start off WrestleMania?
It's the perfect game plan. Perfect game plan. I think, as you said, LA is a bit. I think in America, when you have big events in general, especially when you have like NBA All-Stars or the Super Bowl or WrestleMania, those particular states are going to be like packed in general. So having somebody as box office as Jonathan opening up the show, like doing what he does best. Listen, he's dashing the towel. He's gonna have like 50 man on the entrance. Just like we don't know what's gonna happen. It's perfect, and I think it's also the perfect way to start the show, considering he's going to lose.
Straight in there, we're going to lose. So I'll go with you, Clint.
So I'm writing all this stuff down.
That's fine. That's what we're here for, my friend. I think ultimately, yeah, he's gonna put Theory over. Ultimately, that's the reason he's here. I think, like, we know how John does business. Like, we know when it comes to the promo game, he ain't messing around. If he can take a shortcut to get a big one up on you in front of the crowd, he's gonna do it. But then ultimately, after the match, he's gonna dap you up and be like, "Hey, good job out there," and keep doing your thing as a great champion. This is ultimately what Theory needs on his resume. I mean, it's already starting to stack up quite nicely. I mean, he has wins over Rollins. He has a Elimination Chamber win, even though it was via shenanigans. He has that win on his resume. And then putting John Cena on there is ultimately just going to elevate his run a bit better.
I think what's crazy about that is he started off as Vince's guy. Like, so he already had the approval from the boss type of thing. And now you get the start of WrestleMania. You get the actual approval of John Cena as well. So I guess for you, Colette, I want to ask, is this like the biggest cosign you can get in professional wrestling right now? Wrestling Cena, getting the win potentially over Cena as well.
It's a weird one, because even though they're doing this little program together, from what John Cena said in the promo, it seems to me he doesn't actually think he's ready, because some of the stuff he said, like, actually dug deep. So, I don't know. It's a tough one. It is a tough one. But because we all know Austin Theory is Vince's guy, you just know he's probably going to get the W. But for John Cena, I do want him to bring back that US Open Challenge to elevate even more stars. Because even if Austin Theory has a good showing against John Cena, it's still going to push him. So if they have a good match, then I don't see an issue with it. But and I want John Cena to win because you can't just keep bringing him back to lose. We got to be hyped every time John Cena does come back. So for me, Austin Theory is going to win, but John Cena is who I'm rooting for.
I thought you were going to do it. I thought
he was gonna do it as well. I was about to be like you. I was about to like you. Listen, you're gonna throw away points, my brother. That's what you want. Okay.
Not for John Cena. No.
Don't mind me.
I was like, yo, you can take Cena as well. Like, this is the one time we don't need him to do his thing.
But I still feel like it's not 50-50, but you still don't know what's going to happen because it's John Cena. That's what makes it different.
You're right. It's not 50-50. It's 0 or 100, bro. I'm going to tell you.
We'll see.
I got Miles. You said 0 to 100, so I kind of have an idea you're leaning with Theory on it. But
yeah, 100%.
Similarly, like, what does it mean for Theory then? Like, let's take away the side of what you see in the ring, backstage and stuff, being able to open the event, John Cena, US title. If we take it back to a certain way, John Cena opened WrestleMania 20 by beating the Big Show for the title, and that was kind of his elevated push. The year after, he ended up winning the WWE title. Is Theory on a similar trajectory that way, or?
Yeah, I mean, everyone needs their kind of method of breaking into this industry. I think Theory's done really well with the heel heat he's got. Some people may say it's go away heat, but I really like it. And John Cena is definitely going to put him over. So this is definitely the perfect time to do that on the grandest stage as the opener of the main shows. And I don't see why it shouldn't be him. It makes complete logical sense for the greatest face of all time to possibly start the run of someone who could potentially be the greatest heel of all time, just because of how hated he is by fans. So Austin Theory is the right choice, and is the smart choice as far as these rankings go.
Do you know what this shows to me? This shows to me the ego of John Cena and how less it is and how much he understands the business. Like a bit to Randy Orton as well, where they put guys over when they don't have to be able to come back. But I guess while we're on the topic of Cena, there was that little exchange with Cody when he initially made his return back. And it was something, I believe, along the lines of, look, I want a match with you later. And he kind of hinted that he doesn't know how many he's got left. So, Keanu, is this potentially the last time we see Cena at WrestleMania?
Nah, I think with Cena, it's with the schedule that he's on, I can understand why he probably thinks he ain't got many left. But I don't think it's the last one. I think even if all we see of Cena in a calendar year, even if it's not a SummerSlam, even if all you see in the calendar year is, okay, he's off doing movies, we know he's doing movies, TV shows, but then one random March, it's like, oh, breaking news, John Cena is going to be at so-and-so arena. We already know why he's going to be there. Like, he only going to come around for one reason. Like, if the sign isn't up in the arenas, he ain't coming yet. Like, he ain't gonna be there. He's gonna be there so he can point out the sign for somebody and be like, me and you's happening at Mania. That's all it's gonna be. So I think if he's on this reduced schedule where we see him like once or twice a year and the 2 times is a Raw or a SmackDown and then a Mania, I think that's fine. I mean, if he doesn't have to, like, I think this year, you know, he had the match on SmackDown with the Bloodline, against the Bloodline with Sami Zayn and KO and all them, man. But I think he doesn't have to have matches on weekly TV. I think we just seeing him at Mania would be fine. So I think he's probably got at least about maybe 2 or 3 more before he really is like, okay, maybe I'm probably going to hang it up, or his movie schedule just gets a bit too busy.
You think that as well? Because I think 2 or 3 is quite a push. I think he's got 1 more in him, and before one more in him, and then we're seeing a Hall of Fame induction. I think we'll probably get the Hall of Fame induction followed by.
How old is he? Oh, he's not even that old, but
he's 45.
I mean, he's 45.
He's balding, man.
Yeah, he is 45.
He's balding.
Yeah.
Balding, that old man.
Man.
Mate, he should cut his hair, like, get the old Cena look.
That, man, I can't lie.
Yeah, even when Austin Theory brought it up as well. Like,
yeah,
the reason he can't cut his hair is because of the movies.
I know, that's what sucks.
Trying to do.
Yeah.
He was trying to do that. But yeah, go on. Correct you and Miles, just quickly then before we wrap up on this. How many more manias do we have of John Cena, do you guys think?
As in, if we're talking about him wrestling,
Yeah.
I'd say like 3 more, because I don't know. There's just a lot of stars he can have a program with that he hasn't fought yet, or not necessarily been on TV with yet. So I don't know. I think there's, for him, he's so passionate about this business. I feel like there's a lot more he'll want to do. Like even getting that 17 time. Is he going to break the record soon if he faces the? Yeah. I think he's going to be that guy to do it. So I think he's here to stay, really.
I don't know. Miles, what you're saying about Cena and WrestleMania? How long we got left? How many years? How many more manias?
I think John Cena anticipated being a bigger movie star than he is. And because he's not as big a movie star as like The Rock, for example, I think we'll see him in quite a few more WrestleManias. No slight to him, but yeah, his Hollywood career hasn't really gone as well as he would have wanted. So when WWE come calling and they throw a couple hundred bags at you, you better show up, and he will.
So on the wrap up, then we're going with the predictions. Then Miles, what are you thinking? Theory?
Oh, I mean, I've already written everyone down as theories. So.
It's already locked in. It's locked in now.
You're right.
Let's not beat around the bush, bro.
Theory should. I think that will probably be the biggest shock if somehow Cena comes out US champion. The only thing I can think is, what we counting with disqualifications? How are we looking at that? Because technically Cena wins the match. But
don't get twisted. Yeah, don't get twisted. If it's that, we will lose, bro.
Okay.
We will lose. It has to be who won the match. If I hear then it's so. Yeah.
That was the first song of the day.
I knew it would be Miles as well.
Wait for Keanu.
The entrance.
I'll start off because I know Keanu's got a rendition waiting for us.
You got me quickly thinking that the entrances for some of these guys are going to be big.
Oh, WrestleMania, they do big entrances.
Listen, it's WrestleMania anyway, and it's in LA. It's a spectacle. It's the city of angels. You know what I mean?
Oh, can I add one more to our thing then? This is just a side note. We're going to do all the matches, but let's just do a point for who we think is going to have the grandest entrance. Who do we think is going to be?
Well, that's a good question. Let me have a look at the card.
It's one of 2 people.
I know where you're going with it.
No, actually, it's one of 3 people.
Yeah,
it's either Roman Reigns,
yeah,
Cody, or Charlotte.
Or I'm going to throw in a curveball, possibly Seth. Because
I see it.
His character now.
I see it.
Ooh,
he might bring out a choir. If he brings out a choir, then I'll concede.
You guys are overlooking Edge, you know. I think Edge might have it.
But I want to clarify.
Finn Balor as well. He's bringing a demon back.
Finn Balor's the one, you know. That's for me,
Yeah,
and we're
yeah.
on that a bit more. That's like a special one because of what they're projected to be doing.
Yeah, and you know Edge as well. You know he hasn't got a lot left in him, so he's gonna want to put on a spectacle for.
Let me make this more interesting.
Go.
Whoever gets this right, or the people who get this right, will get 3 points for getting it right. That could tip the scales.
I'm gonna go with Edge. I'm taking Edge on this one. I might still collect his.
He's copying me.
I might feel it that there's something special there.
Yeah. His entrance music alone.
Yeah, as soon as I introduce 3 points, see how Keanu now he's scratching his chin.
Listen, I'm looking. I've got the schedule right up here. I'm literally looking at names and just thinking about what these people have done. Because another name I wanted to throw in there was Bianca Belair, because she had the best one last year.
Good shout. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to, you know what I mean? Like there are names,
just for the sake of time.
And there's even Finn. No one's even said Finn.
No, we said
Finn.
Oh, you said Finn. Okay.
Yeah.
Also, so entrances.
Yeah, just for the sake of time, I'm going to have to press you boys for an answer so we can let Abbas continue.
Wait, so what have you said, Miles? What's your answer then?
I'm going for, because I didn't say anything, I'm going for Cody. I think Cody has the biggest.
Man said he's coming out the floor.
I think pyro everywhere. There's going to be pyro coming from the fans. Like, there's going to be everything.
100%.
Yeah, I'm going for Cody.
This is for
3 points.
It's literally out of 4 people. Just Edge, Finn Balor, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes, but considering that Cody Rhodes is gonna get the W and he's gonna win the championship, you know he's gonna get all sorts of pyro for that entrance. So it's got to be Cody Rhodes. But I think I'm gonna go with Edge. I'm gonna go with Edge for me.
You lot are overlooking the women, you know.
I'm not though, because I know Bianca's the
Charlotte's just coming out in that Ric Flair coat, and that's it.
Nah, you underestimate her if that's what you think she's coming out. If you think listen, you'll talk about fireworks. Listen, she'll bring the fireworks as well.
What with
But another
the
person
handstand?
yeah, 100. The other person I was thinking as well, just because of her new gimmick, was Asuka.
Ooh,
It could be
good shout.
scary.
Yeah, at this point, you've thrown out the whole card. So
Nah, that's they're all my answers. Okay, If I'm gonna say one, I'm gonna say Bianca.
Okay.
I'm saying
I like that though.
that leaves one more person, Mr. Abbas himself.
Do you know what? I said Edge, and just because Kelechi said Edge, I'm going Finn Balor.
I hear it.
That's going to be a great match as well.
If it's one of them two, I'm actually not mad. I
Yeah.
won't be mad.
Everyone has gone for someone else, which is fantastic. Obviously, we will be the judges of who had the best entrance. We will judge it between ourselves,
Barely.
unbiasedly, of course.
Mm.
And the winner will get 3 points for that one. It's tense. It's tense, guys.
It's very tense.
Well, switching back to the card itself, next, I want to talk about the showcase tag team matches, and we'll group them both, the men and the women's fatal four-way. Without even looking at the teams, is this again another one of them matches where we need to put as much talent as we can get on screen, and we don't really have a plan for them, so let's just make this a showcase match? What do you guys think about that?
Everyone's just looking like they don't have an answer. But you 100% know it's just because they want to get more people on the screen. Like, I don't know if you man used to watch like Total Divas back in the day, where like they I know Keanu did, but like you know when they got to speed up the matches, like you see all the whole backstage of it, and then their match gets cut. I feel like it's one of them ones where no one really cares about it. If they're running out of time, then yeah, it's just gonna get cut short.
That's true.
Yeah.
In the land of TV and TV terminology, I feel like these two matches is the perfect definition of what we call filler.
Yeah.
This is the most filler matches I've ever seen. Like, I think it probably leads to a bigger conversation about, I guess, where the tag belts are, because I think you don't have matches like these if the tag belts are split. In my opinion, I don't think you do. Like, I think the purpose of them probably are just so they can just be really, really good matches and just probably be loads and loads of spots, and I guess that's just what they're looking for. But in terms of what these matches mean, they don't mean anything. I think when you have Mania, when you're on the card for Mania, every match should mean something. There should be a story to every single reason as to why. Like, you can go through all the matches, and at least, even if it's not substantial, you can kind of see why this match was made or what the reason for what it's for and the stakes are. But these two, it's a stinker. Like, there's just nothing. It's just, okay, you guys won. You guys are tag teams. You want to go WrestleMania?
There we
There
go.
you go.
And I think where it comes back to when you said about the tag team titles, because of the dominance of the Usos, it doesn't make any sense for them to be able, like, as a viable team, to be able to beat them. There needs to be a long-term story building and stuff. And then Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, just because of the story building itself, are the only viable team to be able to do that. So they're in a tricky situation where you built up these champions, but we don't have any viable contenders. So I guess this is the only reason why you put it. But to your point, and I'm going to go to Miles on this, you mentioned that the matches themselves, men's and women's, is probably there for spots. The fact that they've classed it as a showcase match, isn't that kind of the purpose of the match itself, just to showcase them and some wild spots?
And then my question in response is WrestleMania the place where you showcase talent? It's not, is it? It's the place where you present talent that you've built stories with for the previous 12 months. So all of this just throwing them together because they're part of your roster, it doesn't really make sense to me. You didn't care for them enough to give them proper storylines throughout the year. I'm looking at the matches and the lineups now. Like, what on earth do I care about these two matches? Honestly, like, I don't mean to be so, you know, um, about it, but I don't care for this at all. Like, those matches will be skipped so fast. You have no idea. Like, yeah, for me, I hate a WrestleMania that has matches that I don't care about. WrestleMania is the one show where you present matches that have good storylines and have been built well. So I couldn't care less for these two, honestly.
Do you know what? It's funny you say that because the line for the concourse will grow a lot more when these come on, depending on what time they fix. You can go to the toilet, you can get your snacks, you can do everything. Is it kind of sad on the performers, though, that we're looking at both these matches and we're like, we don't care type of thing? Or do you think for them, just being on the card is like a big thing themselves?
I guess there's some level of, I think you could probably ask every wrestler like they want to be on the WrestleMania card, but I think it's kind of like, do you want to be on a Champions League team and not play? Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're in the Champions League final, but you know you're not making it off the bench no matter what. So it kind of is just, it's just there. It's kind of pointless. Yeah.
Are you basically saying that they're like Eden Hazard at this point? Like, you're just there. You're never
they're lacking something. Like, I think, as I was saying before, like, because the tag belts have been held up, on the men's side, the tag belts have been held up. So I guess if you say the team that wins this match then gets the next shot at the next tag team championship, then fine. But if you say the same with the women's thing, it's like, okay, or at least with the women's one, you could say, okay, whoever wins the match, if you made the match between the triple threat, the chat between Damage Control and Trish, Lita, and Becky, whoever wins that match maybe wins the tag belts. That's a tag team match, even though it's 3 of them. And then whoever wins that match, they didn't have another match on the next day, and then they fight them. Like, that would be cool. But it's like the Battle Royale. There's no incentive.
I get that. And Miles, I'm going to let you do the predictions for this, for everyone. Gather what people are thinking, write them down, because then we'll move on to something else. Because the general consensus feels here, we're just like, they're there. If you need to go toilet, this is the type of match to go to the toilet in. So what's everyone thinking?
So which match are we going with first?
We'll go for the men's first.
Okay.
I'll probably take the Street Profits. I think they seem like the only logical team to do it. Braun Strowman and Ricochet, I'm not feeling it type of thing. And the other two, just park them to one side. I feel like Street Profits just seem like the only team to catch the imagination and get a pop after they win.
Yeah, let's do this one quickly because it's definitely Street Profits. Let's be real. There's no one else. Like, Braun Strowman and Ricochet, I don't know, the chemistry just isn't there for me. It just doesn't seem like it's a real tag team, if you know what I mean. Like, I just can't see it personally. Like, Keanu, you look like you might be disagreeing with me there.
I'm going with Alpha Academy.
Ortiz.
It's a good shout.
Ortiz.
You know what I'm saying?
I love the character development. I know
Ortiz.
I love the character development. There's something.
Listen, you see, let me quickly just say, because I know we're wrapping these up. Okay, Otis, very, very underrated player in this game. Very underrated. Every time they put this man in a storyline, it's worked. Every time.
He's hilarious as well.
Exactly. I tell you something about him. Miles, what about you?
Tough, but I thought about it, and I'm going for Street Profits. I think Keanu has had a stinker there.
There's no one else other than Street Profits.
I think he's had a stinker, but we'll see. We will see.
We shall see indeed.
He's drinking that water like Pep when something's gone wrong. Like,
no. Listen, I think my throat is dry. It's dry. But listen, I'm cool. I'm happy. I'm very happy with my choice.
And then with the women's, I think there's literally one team again. Like, it's Ronda and Shayna. I looked at the teams, and it's Ronda and Shayna. They're just gonna beat everybody up just so easily.
Yeah. See, there I agree with you. I agree with you on that one. 100%.
Yeah, that one's a stinker. I can't.
That's a consensus.
Yeah.
What do we all think about Ronda Rousey? Because I know we got some UFC fans here. So
She's good.
do you guys think she's like
She's good.
transitioned into the WWE well? Or
She's good.
I don't.
She's good.
I think promos are weak. I don't know if one week if she's a face or a heel. The moves are quite limited. I get bored. Like I'm like, yo,
She's
both of
not
them.
booked. She's not booked correctly. Like realistically, you do respectfully like you do what you did with Brock. You give her a mouthpiece. You don't put her in there for long. You let her smash people for 5 to 10 minutes. That's it.
imagine if
They're
she had
booking.
Paul Heyman then.
They're
Like
booking her
that
wrong.
would be
If
golden
she
TV.
had Paul Heyman with her, no one would ever speak about her the way that they speak about her because Paul Heyman would make her look like she's worth $1 million, and then she would then go in the ring, do 5 to 10 minutes of work, and smash everyone and then leave. Like it would be perfect. They're honestly just booking her wrong.
You know, if Roman Reigns is actually going to have a vacation after this, then I would love that idea. You know, just put Paul Heyman with Ronda Rousey until Roman Reigns comes back on TV. I think that's gold right there.
I've
No,
wanted that from day one.
I'm down for that. Moving on though, we've got another women's six woman tag match: Damage Control versus Becky, Lita, and Trish. I'm gonna start with you, Miles. This damage control thing for me, it just hasn't worked. I feel like they've dropped the ball with it. They've always been on the, especially with Bailey, she's always been on the losing side of a singles match type of thing, even in the war games. It never looks like they come out on top. What's your opinion on how damage control have been booked in its entirety since they formed?
Yeah, they started off well, and I quite like them. I still like them, to be honest. They bring a different energy to the women's roster. They bring a different dynamic, and I think Bailey has fit into that role really well. Obviously, the dynamic of them is for Bailey to put the other two over, and I think she's doing that to some extent. They've got a slight comedy aspect to them, which is also okay, refreshing. It's cool. So I'm not so down on them. Obviously, they've not been booked very well at all, as you say. But I'm not so down on them. I think Bailey has done a really good job as a veteran. Um, what was that sound? As a veteran. Um, so yeah, I think in the context of this match, obviously you've got Lita and Trish in there. I'm not really a fan of bringing old people back and forcing matches and forcing title belts on people's shoulders who don't really deserve to have them just for a little bit of a pop. Um, so that's my opinion on them. I guess when it comes to finding out or saying who I think will win, I guess we'll leave that to the end. But yeah, that's my opinion.
What about you, Kelechi? Are you a fan of the fact that right now the women's tag title belongs to, I guess you could argue, a part timer in Nita, not even a part timer, just someone who's popped up and she's with Becky, and then they just basically pull Trish out. Personally, for me, just because it just fills the spot, and then also being that it's WrestleMania and we need the legends back type of thing, and it just makes that appeal bit stronger.
Um, Personally, it's just not a good storyline, to be honest. There's not really much I can say about it. I'm excited that Lita and Trish are back, but as we said before, like if they're not going to stay long, then I don't know. It's just another one of those matches where there's not really any meaning to it. So it all remains to be seen with that one. I'm excited though to see what Trish and Lita can bring to the division.
And Keanu, are you excited? Because I can't lie, I'm not. I think there's a certain bit of where legends go to one point and you're like, okay, you can stay in the back type of thing, unless you are going to be here properly, which you can't see with these not. And I just think it's a bit flat, this entire build as well.
I mean, I agree with Miles. I think Damage Control is a really good group, and ultimately they've not been booked well, and it's something different to what is usually in the women's division anyway. I mean, sometimes we do see like trios groups, but they're not all as balanced as Control is. So that's one thing I do like. And I think it's Mania, so you kind of have to have legends there. You want to draw big numbers. That's pretty much literally just what this show is for. And I mean, if you look on the card, like there's not really other official status legends on the card other than Edge, really. So to have the balance, you have Lita, you have Trish, they're gonna come and do a few spots, the ones that everybody like. They're gonna do Stratisfaction. We're gonna see a Twist of Fate. We're gonna see a Moonsault. That's just how it's gonna go. I think whether they have an extra run in them to be doing a couple months or maybe something up until the next major premium live event, that's to be seen. But I think ultimately there's nothing wrong with it. I just think it's just not been booked well to where people have had enough care, and I don't think even from the just this past Monday, I don't think enough happened to sell us on it to be like, this is gonna be something amazing at Mania. I think the promos it was only between Becky and Bayley, and it just wasn't enough. But it's not to say it won't be a good match. Like, they've got really, really good people in there, so I'll be intrigued to see it. Whether who wins, that's the real question, to be honest. This one's quite a toss up, in my opinion.
I was going to say, before we actually go on to who wins, who needs to win more going forward? Because on one hand, you've got title champions, and on the other hand, you've got a team who kind of feels like they're just floating in and out and constantly losing on pay-per-views or premium live events. So who needs this win more, Miles?
I mean, are we still talking about the same match? Gosh, like, this card is like, oh man, this card ain't great, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. They've not done a good job of kind of showcasing the women's division this year. I think they've done a really poor job, and I think, for those of us who aren't interested in the women's division just this year, it's not a fault on our side. Like, it's WWE and the way they presented this division, which has had its problems for many years. What was your question? Who's going to win? Or like, what?
I was going to say they should just disband the whole group, in my opinion.
Who needs the win? Becky, like, on her own, needs the win so that she can get those two out of here. Like, they're having to bring back old people just to, like, it's a mess, bro.
You know what? Let's go straight into it. Let's go predictions, because I don't need this. We have bigger matches to talk about. Yeah, let's go predictions then. Kelechi, what are you thinking? Because Keanu's I'm on the same wavelength as Keanu. I don't know who actually wins this one.
I don't know who wins it either, because the build has just been terrible. There's nothing to sway me of who's going to get the win here. So I'm just going to make this short and sweet and go with just Trish's group. Just going to have to go with that. Trish, Becky, and Lita.
Keanu, same? Or are we switching to Damage Control?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Damage Control. I'm gonna say Damage Control. I honestly, it's 50-50, but I'm just gonna you have to pick one. Flip of a coin.
I'm gonna go on, man.
No, go for it.
I'll go with what Kelechi is saying as well. I just think faces, tag team champions and stuff, and hopefully after this you just get rid of Damage Control completely.
So it seems like for the first time I'm agreeing with Keanu over there, and I'm gonna go for,
wow,
yes sir, Bayley and her girls. It's a must for me. Progression wise, sorry, get the old timers out. Just stop bringing legends back. I don't like it.
Do you know what? From one poorly booked match to one match, I think we can sit here and all be excited for. That's the IC title triple threat match. Gunther, Sheamus, Drew McIntyre. This is like one of the matches where you expect all of these guys to fully deliver. Keanu, on a scale of 1 to 10, is this probably the best match we could have had on a scale of 1 to 10, or can you expect the IC title to be booked any better than this?
I expect violence. That's what I expect. I expect violence. These three men hit very hard and hit people a lot. So this is exactly what I want. I think if it's anything like what the Gunther and Sheamus match was in Clash of the Castle, and then you just add Drew, I think this is one of the matches that can really steal the show if it needs to, and I think they'll probably will set out to do that. Again, I think we talked about on the last podcast. I think in terms of people who win, if Gunther wins, we're not mad because it just solidifies his already fantastic reign as IC champ. But if you give it to Sheamus or you give it to Drew, it does provide up a bit more for the division. A bit more on Sheamus' side for the story in terms of just him completing the full set of all the titles. And Drew if he wins it. I think probably some shenanigans and heel tactics if he does. But yeah, no, I think this one is one I'm really, really looking forward to.
You know, it's funny you said the heel tactics because I'm kind of siding with a Drew heel turn potentially in this match. Go on? I'm going with you, Maz. You give a little whistle there. Do you think there's a chance that could happen or not?
I'm not so sure, but that's not a bad shout. Like when you said it, like I made noise because it's like, oh damn, like that's not a bad booking decision. But the only thing is, I don't think on this show we're going to get many changes in terms of the direction of the individuals. So heel turns and breakups, and I don't think this is the show for that. I think this is the show for definitive winners. And this is just, I mean, this match is fantastic. This is such a good match. It's just going to be, everyone's chests are going to be red, like everyone's faces are going to be caved in. It's just going to, it's a hoss fight. Hoss, just big bodies being thrown around rings. Who knows? They may even do a ring break spot. It may be like a triple something off the top rope, and then the ring just collapses, and then the whole stadium caves in, and then that's the end of the show. Who knows? Yeah, man, it's going to be a great match. It really is.
Kelechi, in your opinion, do you want Gunther to lose the title? Not necessarily who do you think will win. Do you want him to lose the title to progress to something else, or do you think he's perfect still being the IC title going forward, IC champ going forward?
It's a good question. That is a good question because realistically, he should be fighting the top guys. And with the IC title division, there's no one really you can say, oh, he can have a good program with Gunther. Like, I think he needs to elevate himself now to that point where he's solidified as a big star, just like Roman Reigns. So I like Gunther, so I want him to win. But in terms of being that next big thing, I think he needs to lose it. To who is the question? So we'll see.
Let's do that.
Sorry, real quick. I like how you said it, and then you paused because you knew people were gonna have something to say about it.
You know what? I get what you mean because the way they book the IC title is if to say it's the workers title. So I understand where you mean that for the next part of Gunther, he might need to drop that. But let's go into predictions then. Miles, where are we thinking with this?
There's only one man, and it's the current title holder. He's been great for that belt, and he deserves to have it for the next 6 months and just fight people. Gunther.
Keanu?
Banger. After banger. After banger. After banger.
But the thing is, which one is it? Because they both got sly accents. So which one is it?
Yes, I'm going Sheamus, man. He's going to complete the set. It makes sense. You lose technically on your home turf, and then you win it on the biggest stage of them all, man. It's perfect storytelling, man.
And Kelechi, what about you?
I'm going to copy Miles on this one. Yeah, I'm going Gunther as well. Short and sweet. I'll leave it at that.
I'm going the same. I'm going Gunther, but I'm going Drew turns the heat and grows heel on Sheamus at the end. And we'll see. A bit like how Dominic did his own little heel turn. I think Drew might do something similar like that as well, just to leave the crowd like, whoa.
Sorry, who did you go for, Drew?
No, Gunther.
Gunther.
But I think Drew turns on Sheamus at the end.
So everyone's against me again.
Yeah, bro.
Everyone's against me again.
You could be down
good.
It's cool, man. It's cool.
Let's move on to the celebrity showcase match. You could say Logan Paul versus Seth Rollins. I think for me, I love the build of this. Like the fact that we got in from Royal Rumble, then we had the Chamber. Now we're here at Mania. On a scale of 1 to 10 miles, how excited are you about this match?
Not very.
Really?
No, not really. No. Doesn't really do it for me. Logan doesn't look great to me as a wrestler. He's had some high spots and got a match with Roman Reigns at Crown Jewel or whatever it's called just because. Yeah, no, this match, it's funny you say what you said. This match doesn't do it for me. I'm not a big fan of celebrities coming in and deciding they want to be wrestlers and then kind of having boring ring gear. looking lanky and kind of just not very graceful in the ring, and then you pair him with Seth, who's now supposed to put him over or help him get over, stinks to me in every possible way. I'm so sorry to burst your bubble, bro.
I want Miles is hot.
It is not for me.
So you'll have to remember, Miles is a natural hater. Natural. Natural.
That's what I'm starting to see now. Savage.
Because I'm the complete opposite. I love this match. I think it's going to be amazing. And as Miles said, the reason he hates it is the reason I love it. It's going to be high spots. It's going to be drama. And it's probably not going to go long. But I mean, I'll already say my prediction now. Like Seth is almost 1,000% gonna win, but it's going to just be a match of Seth making Logan look really, really good, just accepting whatever spots that they have. They'll probably recreate that Ricochet one where they both jump off the top ropes and then collide into each other or something stupid like that. But Seth is gonna make Logan look good, and then he's gonna beat him. That's just how it goes. Seth doesn't lose at Mania like that. This is his season as well.
I can't lie. I'll tell you why I think my prediction is what it is. But Kelechi, what about you? What's your opinion on this match itself?
My opinion.
Can it steal the show?
This is
Bro, leave it alone, man. Drink something healthy. Drink something healthy. That thing is packed.
That's the problem, Kelechi.
No, I'm joking. Yeah, Seth is 1,000% winner. I just get my prediction out of the way. Like he said it himself, if he loses this match, then he's not that guy. He can't deserve himself. Like he doesn't deserve to be a wrestler if that's the case. But yeah, as Keanu said, it's going to be high spots. It's going to be a lot of action. Like I don't think Logan Paul's had a bad match. Maybe with the Miz, it wasn't that very like entertaining, but for a celebrity, it was pretty damn good. But yeah, I'm excited for the match, but it's not going to steal the show.
I don't know. I think like
can I just before you say your piece, can I just say for someone of us like you who was so up for this match, I mean, I can only guess you're going to go for Logan Paul, right? I mean,
no. I'll tell you why I can't go Logan.
I thought he was this great new addition to. All right,
I thought that as well, but then he basically tweeted out his rookie contract. So
so that's kind of throwing a spanner in the works of the whole thing now.
Yeah.
So unless they do what they kind of did, where CM Punk was kind of looking like he was going to leave WWE, then he wins the title and runs away with it, and you don't know if he's re-signed or not. It makes no sense for Seth to lose this. So for that reason, I have to go with Seth, and I kind of on Keanu's wavelength, where WrestleMania time you see Seth getting the dubs. So I'm with you. I think unanimously we're going with Seth on this, right?
Yeah, I think that's like all four of us, Seth.
Cool.
And that's the right decision.
But I will say this: like, don't sleep on this, Miles. I think this is gonna get you excited. But I think one more.
Boring.
Yeah, Miles, have you not been excited by anything Logan Paul's done since he's come in, or?
No. Thinking back, no, not really. No.
Damn.
He's been around the mic. I'm not going to be a complete hater. He's been around the mic. In ring, nah, not for me.
Cool. Let's go into the Battle of the Giants. We'll keep it short and sweet, even though these guys are tall and big and everything. Lesnar versus Omos. What you said about the ring breaking, I think this is the match where the ring could potentially break. And I think it's going to be a short match itself, but we're going to get them big spots. What do you guys think about this match, the build, just in general? Are we happy to see Omos being pushed with a guy like Brock?
No, I'm excited to see Brock Lesnar hit that F5 on such a big guy, but yeah, it's just whilst you've got Brock Lesnar like doing his best work, why put him with someone like Omos who can barely wrestle? Like, there's so many good matches we could be having with Brock Lesnar. So for me, I'm not very excited about it, but yeah, it could have some nice moments.
Keanu, is this a spot match rather than anything of value?
100%. I mean, in the great words of Big E on the old New Day podcast,
I know what you're on about already.
In the great words of Big E, this match can only be defined by one phrase. This is big men slapping meat together. This is it.
I-
Big meaty men slapping meat. That's all it is. That's all this match is. And I feel like I've been wrestling with the decision about who's gonna win this match for like the whole day when I knew we was gonna record. Because I think on one hand, it's kind of like Brock is also at the part of his career where you want to be putting over the people who are coming up, but then on the other hand, Brock is also a massive draw still. So you keep stoking the fire while it's hot. So I think up until we started recording, I had almost to win, but I've switched it. And I'm saying Brock is winning. He's hitting the F5. The ring's going to bust, and that's it.
Might as well.
Oh, I didn't even hit my prediction. Yeah, Brock Lesnar for me as well.
Abbas, let me hear what you got to say before I make my decision.
Do you know what? I like what they're doing with Omos, but even him losing elevates him because he's in the ring with Brock Lesnar. The only thing I'll say is this is the first time I've seen anyone being built stronger than Brock Lesnar throughout all the encounters. So I think they've done a good job building him up. But when it comes to the actual match, Brock will probably win, and it's going to be that highlight spot. The F5 in the ring. How are you going to get him up? Once he hits it, again, like I said, we might need to take a little break and restructure the ring because it could potentially break.
I think that's how you make it entertaining, you know. So I think they're going to have to do that because I don't see how they get people intrigued.
Why do I have a small feeling? I feel like I know what Miles might say.
The thing is
you don't care.
No, it's not even that.
No, it's not that. It's not that. I mean, usually I don't care, but this is one of those situations. I actually do think Brock will win, but there's a small world. It's not a realistic world, but there's a small world where Omos could win, and I think.
Say it. Do it.
Omos is going to win. I think so. I'm going for Omos. I can't lie.
Do it.
I'm writing it down.
Do you have any reasons why?
I actually really do think Brock is going to win, but it's not one of those ones where it's like, oh, this person is definitely going to win, and there's no reason why the other person shouldn't win. You could have Omos win and give him some real heel heat that way, not even necessarily to adhere him to the fans, because you won't do that with him winning. But I think you could kill Brock through him, get him mad heel heat. Everyone is stunned. Like, try and get that kind of heat. Michael Cole and all them guys are like, whoa, what's going on here? It could be one of those ones. I don't really see it happening, but for the sake of this, I'm going for Omos.
We'll move on.
Let's bear in mind that Omos lost last year against Bobby Lashley. So
yeah.
But also really make him lose twice at WrestleMania.
But then again, you can say the same about Brock. Brock lost last year to Roman, so you make him lose twice. But before we'll move on, but the thing I thought Miles was going to say, the reason as to why Omos was going to win was because of the Hurt Business coming back.
Oh yeah,
that's what I thought.
I don't see.
Are there any rumors of that? Is that actually happening?
Been rumored, bro.
Been rumors, but
have I not seen this? My boy Shelton Benjamin's coming back. I love it.
The gold standard.
Moving on. Let's just quickly talk about the women's, both their title matches. On one hand, you got Bianca versus Asuka. Bianca's had the title for about a year now, coming up to it. Are we ready for a new women's champion on the Raw brand, or are we happy sticking with Bianca as she currently is?
Asuka is Asuka. Asuka for me is one of the best women in the division. Sorry, in the division, in the company. Asuka is Asuka. I'm going to say that again. Asuka is just incredible. Asuka is Asuka, in case I haven't said it already. She is absolutely fantastic, and I think she will win, deserves to win, and deserves to hold the belt for a very long time. I love Asuka. I think she's incredible.
Everything Miles said times 2.
Oh, Kelechi?
It's tough. I love them both. But Bianca is Bianca, you know. So it's got to be Bianca.
Just because we said what we said doesn't mean we don't love Bianca. That I'm just prefacing.
Yeah. No, I feel like you have to respect Bianca for what she's done in such a short space of time as well. But for me, I'm going with Bianca Belair.
Ooh.
Do you know what? I'm sticking with what Kelechi said. Like, do you know what? I might be the only one that says it, but Bianca's the best woman in the division right now. Like,
I'm not mad at you for saying that.
She's the EST.
I'm not
She
mad
said
at you
that
for
for a
saying that.
reason.
Very, very accomplished wrestler. Not the best at being a face. I don't even know if she'd be good at being a heel.
I'm waiting for I'm waiting for her heel run. I think it's going to be sensational.
Yeah.
When it comes, I think it'll be amazing.
You know, like how Miles says he doesn't care about certain things. I don't care about a lot of the other women except for when Bianca's there. I'm like, yo,
yeah.
Let me see what she can do. Let me see the match. So I'm kind of siding that they keep the belt with Bianca. But then on the SmackDown side, Rhea versus Charlotte. The difference here is Charlotte's not had the belt for a long time. But can we see her dropping it to Rhea, or are we going to have this Charlotte reign that nobody, I think, personally cares about?
I think Charlotte was only given a title so that the Rhea win is going to become more special. Because if she won it against someone like Liv Morgan, who's caring about that? So I think Charlotte was brought into this match just so she can lose, even though she hasn't had the title for a long period of time. So you can't just build Rhea up to be like this killer and make her lose. So for me, I'm going Rhea Ripley.
On the same wavelength?
Yeah, same wavelength. I think you don't have Charlotte lose. Sorry, you don't have Rhea lose to Charlotte twice at Mania. I think that's not right. I think, as you said, she's not had the title that long, so we're still within the shotgun like title territory. I think so. I think ultimately Rhea's got the most momentum. I think it solidifies her position as pretty much as, in my opinion, the leader of the Judgment Day. And yeah, I would love to just see her in title matches, and the Judgment Day are making her win all the time because of shenanigans. I think it would be sensational. Or Dominic making her win because of shenanigans. And then yeah, I think that's what we do. So I'm going Rhea.
Miles, what about you? Like, what's your opinion on Rhea and Charlotte itself?
Yeah, I mean they've kind of built it very quickly. They tried to rush it. Everyone knows that WWE wants Rhea to be a champion at some point. She's definitely next in line. It's not the best story, I won't lie to you. Yeah, they rushed Charlotte back from wherever the hell she was, just to get her to hold the belt and to have their way of having Rhea Ripley get the belt off of someone credible and build up Rhea. But with that being said, here's why Charlotte's going to win. No, I'm joking. Rhea all day long.
I think Rhea should win and probably will win. The only thing I can say is the only little curveball they can do is I remember when Asuka was undefeated, faced Charlotte, and everyone assumed Asuka was going to win. Charlotte ended up winning and beating that undefeated streak. But saying that, I'm with you guys, Rhea Ripley should get this done and should win as well.
As much as we love Charlotte, it's time that she takes an L at Mania.
We need a new star now.
I'm not the biggest Charlotte fan. I'll put it out there. She's not for me unless she turns heel. But even then, the heel's kind of bland. I know where she's gonna go. I might be in a minority that's not big on Charlotte like that.
It's just been done. Everything she's been doing in WWE, like we've seen it before now. Like how many times has she won the champion? She 6-time champion now. Yeah. I think we're over it now.
But one match we're not over, and this is it. This is my match. I'm so gassed for this. Rey Mysterio, Dominic Mysterio, the build of the year. Loved every bit of it, including the full family. Everything about this. Miles, can I ask you something? Are you excited for this one?
This is my favorite match. It's one of my favorite.
Yeah.
I mean, I am a true hater to my core, but how can you hate this? How? Sensation. This has been sensational booking. Sensational booking. I don't want to talk too much because I want to give my opinion kind of at the end of everyone else. I want to hear what everyone else has to say. But in terms of being excited, so excited. So yeah, I'll let you guys do it.
Go on, Kelechi.
Right now, Keanu, I want to hear your thoughts first.
No,
you can take the floor.
I think undisputedly this has had the best build out of any match on either card. I think I'm sure probably for both of them this is a delight. like to be able to wrestle one another, and I think you can see how much joy that they've, or how much fun that they've actually had coming up with this, and it's emulated very correctly and very well with the crowd. Me myself, like you've been looking at, I think we said that, we mentioned it on the last podcast, like we was all kind of warming up to Dominic a bit, like we was wondering whether Judgment Day was the right idea, you know, but then we can kind of see now that he's getting a lot more confident. He's a lot more freer on the mic, you know, like he's not relying on, he's playing he's playing the crowd, and the crowd's not playing him. And all the stuff he's done with his dad has been absolutely sensational, culminated perfectly last week on SmackDown, you know, with him finally losing it and actually hitting him, and you could just see what it meant to like the crowd. And I think, yeah, this one's going to be sensational.
Do you know what I love about this? The fact that Dominic, considering how small he was when he was put in that Eddie Guerrero storyline with Ray, and the fact that he constantly alludes to it, even on Raw, he said that I wish Eddie was my father. I love the fact that he does that. Them little things.
Big boss. Big boss.
Love
the
it.
way he's dressing up like him as well. Like,
Is
it's
that
just
big
all
boss?
that-
If he comes out in the low rider, he's
Oh.
won entrances. It don't matter. He's
That would be amazing.
my gosh.
He's
Yeah,
won
that's a show. Oh
entrances.
my days. We have to rethink that, you know.
Oh,
No, if he comes out,
It's
we all give
not
ourselves.
on now.
If he comes out, if he does
Yeah.
in the low rider, we
Oh
all
my
give ourselves a
days.
point just
No,
for
they should-
for heritage.
True. Like, you know, they should do that sport where it's no, yeah, you can use weapons. No, you can't use weapons in
It's
this.
just a
So,
normal
like, you should do that Eddie thing where he just hits Ray. Wait, no, what was Eddie Guerrero
Yes.
doing?
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I mean, isn't it? Like, he hits someone.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, and then he falls on the floor, innit? I think that would be amazing if he does that.
Do you know what though, Keanu? I can't lie. You know, if he comes out to the lowrider, you might need to get onto WWE booking and be like, yo, we put this out there beforehand, because I can see it. The only thing is because of his character right now, coming out to it would be mad. But I like
him with Damien in the back seat or in the passenger seat. It would be beautiful. That's beautiful.
Oh, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing. I need it. Now I need it.
Yeah, I can't lie. Right, that would be amazing.
All right, should we go for predictions or?
I want to go for Miles. Miles, the floor is yours. What's your thoughts about the entire thing?
It may come as a surprise, but I think Ray is winning. I think he's winning because, yes, you can have Dominic be put over, but this storyline has got up to the point where you need to see Ray complete the mission. And I know we had the time of Ray like hitting him once and saying, yeah, I'll have the match with you, but I think we need to see Ray finish that job. He's been inducted into the Hall of Fame. He is still that guy, like, son, relax, you're not that guy type thing. I'm still here. If he's going to stay in WWE as well, I feel like, you know, he needs to pick up this W. I'm going against the grain because it is very likely they'll give it to Dominic. But from what I would like to see, I want to see Ray win it, just to kind of give that, well, you know what? Dominic has been messing with him, so let Ray finally get his comeuppance.
I think I've got to go Dominic. I feel like this is the perfect way to close the chapter, because all he's ever wanted was to face his dad. Since all of this has started, he just wants to showcase that his deadbeat dad couldn't do nothing for him. He was useless. He didn't even he got a BMW, not a Mercedes. He wasn't happy with that. That was elite. I love that bit when he said that. But overall, I just think it cements him as probably arguably the second best heel in WWE right now if he gets to win over his dad as well, outside of Roman Reigns.
Everyone just looks so confused at that. There's no way he's the second.
I don't know
one.
if I'd say second, but I'd say
mad.
he draws the heat for sure. But I'm
Yeah,
if that's the shot you want to take, my brother, then go for it.
Fair enough. He's bringing in a lot of heat, but I'd say the second best heel has got to be Seth Rollins. But that's
no. As in currently, because Seth is a face. But I mean, right now, the way it's construed the WWE, I'd say Dominic. The second his music hits, everyone boos, and they just don't like him, type of thing. And that's the best bit about it.
For me, there's a few people in front of him. You know, you've got Roman, you've got Austin Theory, you've got I say Jay as well. before you get to Dominic. Dominic has done well, but yeah, I wouldn't say he's up there in terms of the best.
I think he is really good at drawing crowd heat though. I will say that he's very good at drawing.
Yeah,
crowd
he's improved a lot on the mic as well. Like we've got to give him props for that because when he first came in, I don't think anyone believed the word he was saying.
So, you saying Dominic as well?
I'm saying Dominic strictly because he's gonna get Damian Priest or not Finn Balor because he's gonna have his own stuff to deal with, but he's gonna get Damian Priest or Rhea Ripley to come and help him, and I think that's how you save Ray as well to like build him up because yeah, I don't want to see Ray lose and then he's just done. There's no direction. So if there's a way where you can make Ray lose, but in a nice way, like keeps him as a big star, then yeah, I'm gonna have to go with Dominic. Yeah, I'm going too crazy on this one.
Miles, my friend,
go for it.
My friend, I have to tell you this because I love you, but you're my guy. You've had a stinker picking one, my friend.
Definitely not.
Big stinker. It has to listen. Dominic is putting this. Rey Mysterio would want to do nothing more than put his son over in this particular scenario. I think this is going to be one of those perfect ones where it's like the dad cannot put his son away. He can't do it. He does not want to do. He doesn't want to have that on his like. Think about this whole time. Think about the build. He didn't want that in his conscience of knowing he had to fight his son, punish his son for all of these particular reasons of all of the things that he didn't recognize his son. And he gets to the point where it's like, okay, yeah, no, now he has to make the decision where he has to put his son away. But when he's confronted with that moment in front of him, he can't do it. And at that point, Damian Priest just clocks him in the head, and Dominic gonna do 3 amigos, 1 frog splash. It's done, man.
I like it.
Yeah, I like that. We should be WWE writers, because that was beautiful. The way you pitched that, like I believe it, and I can see it happening as well.
We're storytellers, man. We're storytellers.
What's next?
Yeah.
I think the best Hell in the Cell build we've seen in a long time. Finn Balor and Edge. And do you know what's good about this? We're getting the old Hell in the Cell. It's not that plasticky red one that they did. It looks like they're going back to like the original Hell in the Cell. And what's interesting about this is the fact that we've not seen both of these guys on Raw last week, but we both saw them do the little promo, and it looks like we're going to get the Brood Edge and the Demon Finn Balor. Are you excited that we're getting not just the wrestlers, but we're actually getting them in their character personas that adds a bit more to it, Keanu?
Pure excitement is what I feel. Because I think, barring maybe Ray, I think Finn, probably since he's been in NXT, has probably been one of my favorite wrestlers to watch. Obviously, it's been unfortunate with his injuries and everything, but and I've always just wanted him to see him at the top of the card or in the best matches, but it's not always been booked that way. But I think Finn and Edge in this one is going to be a sensational match. I think we're going to again, it's not going to be to the level of Gunther, Sheamus, and Drew, but we're going to just see violence. And you add the Cell, I think you add in the Cell in there, it makes the Cell used to mean so much more during like the 90s and the 2000s, to the point where it was the structure that you put a match in to end a feud. This is how feuds were supposed to end, and it kind of became a bit saturated with how they did it with Hell in the Cell, at the pay-per-view. But I think putting it in there now, it's like this is perfect. This is exactly what you need, and I just can't wait. This is probably my second top 3 match on the card, in my opinion.
Are you kind of on the same wavelengths, Kelechi, that I think they've got rid of the pay-per-view itself? Has that added more value to the Hell in the Cell match? And is this the perfect match to end this rivalry?
Yeah, because I think not to say that gimmick pay-per-views aren't fun. Like, they're always fun to watch, especially when you have great matches. But having a gimmick pay-per-view and then only having 1 or 2 matches in the pay-per-view be that gimmick match, it's just like, well, now every other match is just a normal, ordinary match. That's not fun. So I think, it became a bit oversaturated, but now having it be so rare, be to where the story is so good that it has to end with something has to give, or something has to be on the line to where it's only this structure can contain these two. It's beautiful, and it's very, very, very long term booking. Like even back to when Finn went back to NXT, Edge came to NXT for a bit, did some stuff. So yeah, it's really good, man.
Kelechi, same thing. Are you excited for this? Are you happy with the booking of how it's come about?
Yeah, I'll keep it short because Keanu explained that perfectly, and I completely agree. Like, for a rivalry that's been going on for so long, Hell in a Cell, for two big characters, I think that's the best way to end it. And if Edge is bringing the Brood and Demon, and Finn Balor's bringing the Demon, then this could be a sensational match, and it could potentially be the best if they get the time for it. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that one.
I was going to say, Maz, because of how big the card is, in terms of the time that Kelechi alluded to, how long do you think these guys will have to actually showcase the finale of their rivalry?
Yeah, that's a great question. Actually, I'm not really sure. Funny enough, again, not my favorite match, not my most favorite match of the two nights. We've seen a lot of Judgment Day back and forths. We've seen a lot of Edge and Finn. Okay, maybe not on a one-on-one vibe, but yeah, in terms of the wrestling, I think that will be the best part of it. The storyline hasn't been fantastic though. I don't think this is one you can point to and say, yeah, like this has been, a good build up, a good setup. With that being said, yeah, I don't think there will be loads of time given to it, and I don't think there'll be much of a story afterwards. So I guess with that being said, I mean, who do I think is going to win it? Probably Edge, just for the pop and kind of keep things moving. Yeah, I'd say that.
Yeah, I'll go for Edge as well.
Again, it's a toss up, man. It's a toss up. I'm gonna say Finn just for difference. Just for difference.
Yeah. Oh wait, yeah, he's the Demon, isn't he? Oh damn, that's tough then.
I must just say Finn, because the last time he was, the only person that's ever beaten him was Roman.
I was gonna say he's lost. Yeah. He's lost before.
Yeah, but the only time he's ever lost is Roman. So it's like,
yeah. Oh, I'm gonna have to say Finn, man.
I'm saying Finn.
Oh man,
I'm going Finn because it makes no sense for Edge to win, because it's easier for Edge to go off for a couple of months than it is for Finn to go off. And for that reason, you can have Finn go ahead, win, come out on Raw, do his little thing. But then whilst he comes out on Raw, this is because it's the Monday after WrestleMania. Someone can come in, interrupt him, returning, and you just automatically put Finn into a fresh new rivalry straight away. And Edge is put to the back seat, and nobody ends up thinking about Edge straight away. And I think that's probably the best way to go about booking that. But now we've got two matches left, and arguably the best storyline turning out of them. Or we'll go with the tag team title match first. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn versus the Usos. The Usos, along with Roman, both have historic title runs in the bloodline. Is it finally time to close the Usos title reign down, and are we going to get potentially Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens leave as champions? Kelechi.
And
let me add to that. Do you want that as well?
Thing is, it's hard because the Roman and Cody Rhodes match and the Usos and Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, it kind of ties into one, because if Roman beats Cody, then you want the Usos to have the championships as well, because you just want the bloodline to stay the same, and vice versa. So, it's a tough one. I want the Usos to win. Oh, this is tough. I can't say who's going to win it, but if Roman is going to lose, then Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens have to win it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've talked about WrestleMania. One of the things that people talk about is WrestleMania moments. Is this going to be the big WrestleMania moment if Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens get the job done and beat the Usos?
It will be. It will be the payoff to the best, longest. Well, one of the payoffs to the best, longest. The payoff, because Roman isn't involved in that business. The best payoff. I think what could potentially happen, booking wise, is the Usos are down and out. and Roman doesn't come to help them or save them in any way, shape, or form, and then you can kind of carry something on with that afterwards, like, bro, we backed you for the whole year, but when we need your help, you don't come about. Do you know what I mean? So no, definitely it's going to be. I think this is going to be the kind of biggest pop of the 2 nights, and that pop is going to be because Kevin and Sammy win.
Now this is interesting because this could potentially go that way. Do we put them on night 1 or night 2, Keanu?
I think it should be night 2. Sorry, not it should be. I think it has the possibility. First, let's say it has the possibility to main event night 1. It fully does. But I think to what Miles is saying, because I do like that. I think purely because of that, you put it night 2, because everybody there's no excuse of, oh, I wasn't in the building. Everybody's in the building. Like Solo was there, Paul was there, Roman was there, everybody was in the building. So I think you put it on night 2, maybe to open. I think then it's perfect because, okay, Roman's not fighting for another 2-3 hours, so he could help. You can make that story of he does help, he can help, but
you could almost make it a thing. You could also make it a thing where it's like Roman stops Solo from going to help, and it's like, well, why?
Something is brewing with Solo. Did you guys
listen,
the Hollywood
him? That's him right there, boy.
Yeah,
that's him. Cooking. That's him.
And you can just see by the facial expressions, the silence. There's something not right there.
This is hashtag next up. Next up is Solo.
You know what? I was saying the reason this has to be on night 1 is because you can't do the double pop, but that relates to the main event for night 2. So if you got Sammy and Kevin going ahead and winning the titles, then you have Cody potentially winning the titles. You've got 2 WrestleMania moments on the same night. But saying that, I like the way you booked it. The fact that Roman's in the building, the fact that Solo gets stopped to not go out, the fact that it's the start of the show, so there's no real excuse type of thing. I don't see this. I don't see Roman coming out, but I like the second part. The fact that Solo was stopped to come out, or he wasn't able to come out with them. I like that bit. But on Solo as well, I think he's one of them ticking time bombs. And I think it's because of Cody. The fact that Cody's put in his head that you're not that guy, you're not ready. You then lose to him on Monday Night Raw clean, your first loss, and it just builds up. But yeah, no, I like it. I like the fact that Roman will stop Solo potentially coming out to help the Usos when it's needed. That's going to be, again, when you'll have the officials down, all of them are down type of thing, and he's not going to be able to come out and do the Samoan spike. But what I'd love if somehow they cut to it where Solo's trying to go out there and Roman's like, stop, let these boys do their own type of thing and end up Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens' problem. I would love that.
Yeah, it's WrestleMania, so I'd like to see more clean wins. So if that's how they do it, then so be it. I think that's a good idea, to be honest.
Predictions.
Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens for me.
It's exactly the same.
Same. I think everyone's unanimous here, but it's a good
part 1 of the bloodline implosion. Part 1.
Yeah, do you think it's connected? Like I was saying before, like if something happens, like if the outcome of that match will impact the Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes match.
Let's talk about it.
Talk about it now. That's it. We spoke about everything, but we're here at the main event: Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns. What can we expect from this? First, Keanu, you're probably the only guy that's the Cody fan here. So here's your guy. He's in the limelight. What are we going to expect from him?
Listen, firstly, let's just think about the year that this man has had. Yeah. He just came back to the company. First match he has is with Seth. Beat Seth in 3 separate occasions. So you can already see that the intent that the company has for him. Yeah. Obviously, he mashes up his own arm, so it's peak. He obviously has to go away. But he comes back and he says, listen, man's here. Royal Rumble. Bang. Literally, the points in which he has come back, it shows you the intent of the company. Like it's WrestleMania and the Royal Rumble. There's not 2 more important events that WWE has. And he's won on both of them. So you already know when it comes to Sunday, you already know what's happening. Firstly, as Miles said, the pyro is going to come from everywhere. I'm gonna have one here in my house.
Fireworks.
Like, I'm gonna have one in my house and say I'm contributing to the movement. The whoa is gonna be loud, echo, decibels. Yeah.
Oh, this is a preview show.
No, I'm gonna give it after when he's got the belt, son. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'll hold you to that. All right, that's cool.
Yeah. When he's got the belt, son, I'll bring mine as well. Even though mine
We've
is
got this
the
recorded.
fun
We clip this up and make sure that
That's
you do it.
fine.
I'll hold you to that.
Listen, I'm a man of my word. I'm a man of my word.
All right, we'll see.
I'm a man of my word. I'll get it done. But I think, yeah, as I've already said, as I already said before, it's part two of the bloodline implosion. I think it's been a sensational storyline, one of the best storylines that has ever been in WWE over the last years. Unfortunately, some good things come to an end, and this is going to be one of them. And Cody's going to complete his story and become the undisputed champion.
Let you what we're thinking, same wavelength, where it officially ends for Roman Reigns, or can this historic reign continue?
I think it officially ends for Roman Reigns now. I don't see it going any other way, especially if the Usos lose the championships as well. Then the bloodline's just got to go, and everyone's got to go and do their own separate thing now. I think they've been brought up so much individually. They've done very well. So at this point, I think they can just go all their separate ways and just continue something in their own lane. But going back to Roman Reigns, it's over for him now. It's done. I think he wants a vacation, and he's gonna get that when he loses. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I think I'm definitely going for a Cody win here.
Miles, what you say? Any chance we see Roman continue on as champion from here, or is it a case of that's it, we're done, time to move on to Cody type of thing?
I just want to say that you're a very smart man for coming to me last, because I have the most controversial take.
Yes.
Roman holds on to the belt. For me, he does. He does because I'm biased. I'm not a fan of Cody. I'll be so real. I'm just not. And also, I know WWE are building up Cody, and he's probably going to be the next champion, which is very boring in my mind. I just don't think Cody's the right person to take the belt of Roman, especially with all the people he's had to beat over the last couple of years. I also think that the best course of action is to have someone in his family take the belt off him. That's the best course of action. Always has been. Either that, or it was Sami Zayn who should have done it. Why? I'm going to get mad. Like, Cody Rhodes coming out of nowhere, woeing all over the place, ripping his pec. Roman said it, bro. Your body gave out, and you're coming to take the belt off me. Who do you think you are, bro? I don't see why I'm going to get so mad. I don't see why.
I can't lie. I need when
Made
it
a very
happens.
good point.
When it happens,
No,
I need the live cam on Miles when it happens.
Yes, don't get twisted. Cody's gonna win it because WWE are can do a madness sometimes, and clearly their booking shows that they're gonna give it to Cody, because I think I put down that Cody was gonna have the biggest entrance, right? They're gonna give him all the pyro, they're gonna spend a bag on Cody, and he's gonna win the belt, and he's gonna walk out as a champion. He's gonna be the least believable person to beat Roman Reigns, in my opinion.
Least believable. Least.
Do you know what? I'm with Miles 100%.
He fought Braun Strowman, you know.
He fought Jey Uso as well. There was no way anyone.
He fought Braun Strowman, you know.
Oh, that brother ain't believable, man.
more than Braun.
Roman said it, bro.
More than Braun.
Get out of here, man. No,
More than Braun.
No, I don't think Braun is believable either.
So less or more than Braun?
Yeah, I think more than Braun, maybe. Yeah.
Wow.
Braun, I don't think Braun is believable. Like when Braun was going for the belt, I was like, oh, please don't give it to Braun. Just because.
Yeah, but we all knew Jey Uso was not believable at the time.
At the time.
Right,
No, but listen, Miles. But I don't disagree with you and say that I don't like. I would love for it to be somebody in the family. I would love it. It would be amazing. But that's just not where the story's at right now.
No, that's
like the story could only get there if he beats him on Sunday.
They presented a story to you, and you've taken the story. You bit. That's okay. You bit.
I'm here.
You've taken that story. Yeah, you bit. But I'm not buying into that story. That story doesn't. You brought him in. It's like what they tried to do with Roman as a face. They brought him in. Okay, you can argue that Cody's a little bit better because he came back from another company and had that pop. But for me, it's just not big enough to have him over a Sami Zayn or my number one pick, Jey Uso.
Yep.
Jey Uso is the guy. His brother helps him. They bang up Roman, and then he wins the belt. That is the most believable course of action.
But I would love that too.
Yeah, I would love that as well. But
I would love that too.
You don't
But
see
I'm just
many
saying that's
people-
just
you don't see as angry as me.
that's not where the story's at. That's not the story we've been given.
That's what I'm saying. We didn't have to be presented that story, bro. Like WWE decided that this is the route they were going to go down, and now all of a sudden we're all just supposed to be whoa. Like I'm not on it. I'm not on it.
Marvel, you'll allow one word one day. One
I
day.
think I just
Also,
did the wrong song. I sang Seth's song.
if Cody wins this title, can anyone see it going as long as Roman Reigns has?
Oh,
Because I think
no.
it's so stale.
But it won't. But that's the thing. It's not supposed to. It's not supposed to.
For him, like, does he have the capability to make it interesting? I think it's going to
No,
get stale by.
I think
within 4
no,
months.
but I disagree with that because let's be honest. There's a lot of people who can fight for that belt. Let's be honest. Come on now. In a couple of months,
if it's Randy Orton
like-
next, then
Ooh,
fair
yeah,
play.
but like
Yeah,
think about the names we can have. Like we mentioned Gunther before. If he loses, Gunther has that's one person there. You got Randy if Randy comes back. You've got John because John said he wants to have a match with him. Apparently, that's already 3 really, really good months. And then there's just loads of other amazing people like Solo. Solo has a grudge against this man. Solo's gonna just come and crash him for no reason. I want to see that. I want to see it again. Like let them do it in like a last man standing or whatever. Like
If
there
he
are
makes
matches.
that sell the Crossroads a lot better, because what that
There
sell
are
was
there are
Monday Night
matches to be
Raw.
had.
Here's how
Yeah,
underdeveloped.
yeah,
Here's how underdeveloped that story is. Yeah, the main event of WrestleMania, the main event, and the hook for it is your dad is dead. That's the hook.
Nah, that's
the
not it.
hook.
Nah, that's not
Look,
it.
bro. Your
That's-
dad is
you've
dead.
you've
dad is
undersold it.
and your peck.
You've undersold it. You've undersold it. You've massively undersold it.
Please.
You know what? In a nutshell, Miles isn't wrong. Like,
No,
really,
I'm not saying the premise. I'm like, but then that's the premise for all of his feuds. Then
What do you mean?
you all like every person he's fought since he came back, it's been like he's mentioned his dad. Everybody.
so that's what I mean. So Cody can't sell by himself. Cody needs
No,
to.
but he's consistently said to everybody, "Don't mention my dad." He's consistently said that.
Yeah. Don't
He
talk
said
about
that. He
No,
said
no,
that
He
to
even said he
everybody.
was going to vomit, isn't he? Like if he
Exactly.
loses that belt-
Everybody. He said it to everyone. So like, it's not like he's playing it. Obviously, like we know this thing is scripted, and
Yeah.
sometimes they riff in that. But he said it to whether that part is scripted or not. He said it to everyone. Don't mention my dad. This isn't even though I'm getting the title for the Rhodes family name. I'm getting this title for me. If people are being lazy and think that the only thing that they need to mention to get something out of Cody is his dad, then that's tired. That's them being tired. It's not Cody being tired. That's why I said it's underselling it, because
Oh yeah,
the
no,
fact that
this one isn't Cody being tired. This is just on WWE booking that even with all of that lovely stuff that you said, that's the only direction you went in.
yeah, but then that's them. We can't talk. If we're talking, obviously we can talk about the booking, but if we're talking about just Roman versus Cody, like if Roman wants to mention his dad, and Roman mentioning his dad makes a lot of sense. His dad practically made Roman the man that he is today. Like if he wasn't for his dad, Roman wouldn't be what he is right now. Facts.
Yeah, the way Roman used his dad was very.
It
nice.
made sense. Like Seth not as much. Like Seth, he was just being a heel, and it's like, oh yeah, like your dad liked me more than you did. Ha 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 ha. Like that's fine. That okay, it's cool. But Roman actually, like, if literally, if it was not for Dusty, Roman would not be the person that he is. That's 1000%. So that makes sense.
No, that was perfectly said. Like the way Roman said it as well is like, I can teach you things that your dad never taught you.
That bar, that one, I was like, wow.
Yeah, you thought Cody Rhodes won the exchange though.
And then no. That was I was talking about. I was talking about that night. I was talking about the one on Raw. This was the one on SmackDown. This was the first time they met. When he said that, and then followed it by saying, when I was with your dad, what did he say about you? Nothing. That one, those two ones together, I was like, Roman has killed him. Cody, there's nothing Cody could have said in that exchange. So that one I conceded. I was like, Roman got him. The one on Raw, I still feel Cody got the better of it, in my opinion. That's my opinion. But to just say for this one more than any of the feuds he's ever had, yes, it is about his dad. It is. But this one, it makes more sense than any of the feuds that he's ever done.
Do you know what? I've got to say, I'm still with Miles. Like through all of this, I don't like things pushed down my throat type of thing.
But that's only because other people have done it first. Like if, let's say, it's like if I think you wouldn't feel as strongly as this way about it is if everybody else that he had a match with up until this point didn't mention his dad.
No, do you know what? I like it to come naturally. I wouldn't. So like Cody doing this again, it's on the WWE's booking, so I understand why he's the fresh start to get in. And then when you look at the house shows, when you put Cody on, sales go through the roof type of thing. So I understand why they're doing it. But if it was a case where it just came naturally instead of, okay, the obvious thing is we're going to put Cody at 30, he'll win the Rumble, then he'll go face Roman. That's a bit boring for me, especially when we're all looking at it to say Cody's reign could probably be the type that would get ended by Brock Lesnar type of thing.
Yeah, no, I thought that was boring. I think it was it was going to the point where the Rumble was getting announced. People were getting announced. It's like, oh yeah, Cody said he's coming back. It's like I would have loved firstly, I would have loved that they didn't tell us. I would have loved that they didn't tell us. But even if he did come out at 30, it would have been a bit more of a big deal, as opposed to it's like, oh yeah, I'm coming back.
I don't know why WWE does that now, where they just announce. I know they want to get money, but why are you announcing all these big surprises?
Ticket sales.
Yeah, it's just ticket sale. It's just ticket
sale. Yeah, but like it never happened back in the day. Like I know it's all about money these days, but come on.
I think it's just because there was less advertising you had to do back then, as opposed to it now. It's like you announce Cody comes back, you now have to think of all the TV networks that you provide for, all the social media platforms you can put it on to get all the views and all of that type of stuff. So I think it's just because there's more outlets that you have to provide for now.
And then if you think about it, like you said, you've got it being on Peacock, the fact that, let's just say for WrestleMania, for example, or Royal Rumble, WWE Network subscriptions can go through the roof if you already pre-advertise someone's coming back. And then, you said the promotion side of things as well. A lot of people will be wanting to go to certain things on the off chance that Cody might pop up there or the next big star type of thing. But before we wrap up, let's just go all the way around one final time then. Who do we think's winning this? Personally, I'm going to leave mine to the end. Kelechi?
Cody for me.
Keanu?
It's whoa, boy.
Is there a world where I actually think Roman is going to win? I'm not so sure. Sorry to drag this out. I'm battling head and heart right now. Sorry?
I said you're battling your demons when it comes to this one. Cody.
I'm going Roman.
Nah, there's no way you believe that.
Yeah, I'm going Roman.
No, he believes it.
Let him land because I'm with Miles. I'm still sticking with Roman Reigns. There's literally only one man that should and can defeat Roman Reigns, and that's Jey Uso. And I just want them to book that. Anything else, I don't care about. Book that correctly. Because if you even look at the only thing that unfortunately leads me to believe that it could end is the fact that WWE put out that 2-hour thing about the history of the bloodline and how it formulated to where we are currently. So for that reason, you see some form of breakup, and that could probably be with the tag titles. But I also think, I know we talked about how the Usos won't get any help. I do think somehow, some way, they'll get involved in this match. I don't know. I think that there's a potential for that. And then we see the fallout on SmackDown where it's like Roman's talking probably about the fact that he did this by himself. He did all of this by himself. And then you see a potential little switch in Jey to be like, we were there. We helped you, Us. You didn't do anything for us. And you can start getting the seeds sown in for something down the line as well when it comes to that as well.
What a way to wrap up the show.
What a way to wrap up. It's been a long one, but like Mal said, we're going to wrap up today's episode. previewing WrestleMania. And we'll be back again recapping all things WrestleMania. Before we go, any last words on the show as well? Any little things that we should be excited about that we're not touched on so far?
No, I think we've covered everything.
Hall of Fame?
Yeah, I have to agree. I think we covered all the bases there.
Are we good with the whole
We've wrapped up the show.
Okay,
We've wrapped it.
we'll wrap up then. We'll wrap up with that. And as always, like, share, subscribe, and love and peace, guys.